Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Year I Made It podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Today, I'm going to talk about something that I am super excited about because it's something that I have it's kind of been like the core of like kind of what's helped me to like build a new life that is a life that I want to build for myself and that makes me happy based on myself, just being with myself and being in the life that I want to have for myself. It doesn't require me being with somebody else or having certain relationships or going certain places or doing certain things. It's just little habits that are for myself. So I'm going to talk to you guys about that today. I didn't even realize how often you try to rebuild new habits until the other day. I was talking with somebody that I work with, and he was sharing with me that he was in a time where like he was going through a lot of transitions within his job, within one of his kids getting his driver's license, one of his kids graduating from high school, his wife going back to school, just like a ton of different life changes. And through this, I kind of started sharing with him like, oh yeah, same, I've actually been through a lot of life changes, so I can definitely kind of relate to you. And the one thing that's really helped me a lot has been building habits for myself that are solely based on like me having time for myself. And so what that looks like is over the past, probably let's say 2 years or so, I lived with my ex-husband, then I lived alone, then my sister moved in with me for a little while, then I lived alone again, then my best friend moved in with me for a little while, and now I live alone again. And so I've gone through over the past 2 years, literally like such a roller coaster of like by myself with people, like constantly being around people, constantly being by myself, like not really a lot of in between, and then kind of having to adjust to the different states as they come. It's been a challenge for me, and so as we were kind of talking about this, I realized that what has like gotten me through and what's made it easier for me is building habits that are focused on me, myself, and the life I want to build for myself. So that's what I'm gonna talk to y'all about today. So talking about why to build new habits. So I personally am building new habits because I'm going through a ton of life transitions. I'm creating an entire new life for myself. But I think that everybody has their own reasons for building new habits. It could be to build your dream life. It could be to take your life back. Certainly be more productive. That's another piece, is that a lot of these habits are for me to be more productive because I need to be and have a lot of goals. And then I'm like, how come I didn't hit those goals last year? And then I'm like, because I didn't do the work. And so unfortunately, in order to hit goals, you have to be productive. So I definitely have some things like that in my just kind of goals and habits as well. So when should you start a new habit? Literally anytime. Now, tomorrow, Monday, whenever you want to. Pick a day, pick a habit, start it. Go for it, girlfriend. You got this. Where to start? So I generally say, like, people are trying to start to develop new habits or to add new things in their life, start somewhere that is kind of like high impact, high reward. So an example for me was whenever I started going to the gym. And so I started going to like high intensity interval workout 3 or 4 times a week. For me, that made a huge difference because it immediately helped with my anxiety. It helped with having like an outlet for me, and it got me back in just like the mode of doing something that I enjoy doing, which is working out. And so that kind of became for me kind of a hobby, and then also something that helped with my mental health as well. And so that became like a positive habit for me that I added to my life that was able to help kind of in multiple areas. So some of the other habits that I have are every day when I wake up in the morning, I try to read, to meditate, to pray, to do my little devotional, all those sorts of things. Oh, and do my Duolingo. And I try to do all those things in the morning, like before I even like start getting ready for the day. It's just me on my couch, chilling, reading my books, my devotionals, listening to my devotionals, whatever that looks like. And so it really provides me to the time in the morning to have a really peaceful morning. Because from the second I literally like walk out the door in the morning, my day is just going non-freaking stop. So to be able to have some time in the morning, just me, myself, and I, to collect my thoughts, to have silence, peace, whatever that is, it really, really helps me set my day up for success. So another thing that I have taken relatively seriously recently has been self-care. I'm trying to be a self-care girly. And so I think this looks very, very different for everybody. So this is not to say like, here's the list of what you do to take care of yourself. Do whatever you want, whatever makes you happy. So for me, self-care has been a lot to do with skincare. So I have had bad acne and bad acne scars literally forever. So I've been trying to get rid of them forever. And so some of the things that I personally do is every month I get a microdermabrasion facial, and that helps with acne scars. And then I also get Botox, just because I had really deep like eye wrinkles I was really self-conscious about, and also forehead. So I get my crow's feet and my forehead Botox. I get that done every like 3 or 4 months. I am trying to keep getting my manis and petties. I do little eye patches, like the little ones that you put on. I try to do those like in between Botox treatments, so that way my eyes are staying fresh, you know, when they haven't been Botoxed in a little while. And then I also literally have on my list of things to do, like stop falling asleep with your makeup on. I'm always falling asleep with my makeup on. It's such a bad habit. I'm the kind of person, like, I get remotely comfortable on the couch, I'm asleep 12 seconds, doesn't matter. So I need to stop doing that. I need to stop falling asleep with my makeup on. So that also obviously goes into skincare, because every time I go to get my facial, my cutie pie girl Kayla that does my facial is like, hey girlfriend, how come you keep you know, having like a little makeup residue left behind? And I'm like, oh, it's me, I'm the villain. So that's a little takeaway, that sometimes like you can do all these things, but like you still have to do the work yourself. No matter how much you're having other people do for you, there's still a piece that you always have to do no matter what it is. So some of my like tips and takeaways for building new habits is, I think you should have different types of habits. I think you should have like habits for your soul. Those for me are like reading, doing meditations, praying, different things like that. I think you should have things for your mind. And so those are things like different versions of maybe reading or praying or meditation or different things like that. And then I think that you should have things that you do for your body. And this could be anything. This could be like the gym. It could also be the fact that like I get laser hair removal, because that's something that I want to have done to my body. So whatever you want, just find some things that are some new habits that you can start doing to take care of yourself better, to make your life easier, to make your life simpler, to build the life that you want to have, to create more peaceful mornings, whatever it is. So I am going to wrap up by talking to you guys about my 2023 habits and different things that I'm trying to do. It's a lot of stuff, so brace yourselves for the girl I'm trying to be in 2023. She's ambitious. So some of my habits that I have developed is I quit drinking about 4 months ago. So since I've quit drinking, I've been trying to replace that habit with something more positive. So I made a list basically of all the things that I've tried to like create quitting or replace quitting drinking with in my life to build that habit as a more positive one. So I will do puzzles. I will drink water with lemon. I will eat lots of cookies. Like all these sorts of things that I kind of have. I'm just like as like build void fillers for those sorts of things that I'm working on. And then I also have, so like quitting drinking for me, I'm trying to make it a habit. So like now I still go out and I'm like, oop, want to order a drink, and then I'm like, I don't drink anymore. Like, so it hasn't fully become a habit where I know that it's a habit to the extent that like it's like I know that I don't drink. Like I have to pep myself up before I go out. I'll literally be like, okay, Madison, we're going out to eat tonight. Remember, we don't drink anymore. We're not ordering a drink. We're not going to be tempted. We're not going to want to order a drink, and we're going to have a great night anyways. So that is something that I think is something I'm trying to build into a habit, is getting used to not drinking, because I used to drink at just so many different places and events and things like that. So another habit is taking my meds, literally. So I have medication for anxiety, for sleeping, different things like that. And so literally I have 3 different times a day I have to take all my different meds, not all of them, but you know what I mean. And so that I'm trying to make into a better habit, because I was in a really good habit of taking all my meds in the morning, and then the afternoon one threw me off. The nighttime one I never forget to take, because it's either that or don't sleep, you know. So the middle one, like I'm trying to make a better habit of taking like my middle one because the other day I didn't take it, right? So me just be walking through my day like, why am I so anxious? What is going on? Literally it's like 7 p.m. we're eating dinner, and I'm like, I figured it out. I didn't take my anxiety meds. I didn't take my afternoon dose. So dead ass, I have this conversation with my boyfriend. Like I like have this light bulb moment. I tell him we're eating dinner. I'm like, after we finish eating dinner, I'm gonna go back home and get my meds and then come back. And I literally did that. He only lives like 10 minutes away, so it wasn't a big deal. But literally I was like, I've got to build this habit, and I've got to stop being the villain in my own story where I'm like, why am I so anxious? Because I didn't take my meds. So I jokingly told my boyfriend, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Taylor Tomlinson stand-up. If not, you should watch it. But she has a stand-up where she talks about how taking your meds or like taking arm floaties, like here's your arm floaties. So I, after this thing, was like, okay, in the future, like to my boyfriend, I was like, if I'm ever like weirdly anxious, I'm like, why am I so anxious? Just be like, have you taken your arm floaties? Like I won't be offended, because like sincerely I might not have. But no one to ask that question if you're going to. Okay, my 2023 habits. So this is literally just like a ton of, those were like some different things I'm kind of like work on building and like why I'm working to build. These are things that I'm already doing that I want to just keep doing in my life. So my monthly facials, reading, praying, meditating, those things that I do in the morning, devotionals, Duolingo. I have wash your face literally, because like I just told you, I'll literally need to wash my face, take this makeup off before I go to bed. I also have go to the gym 3 times a week. Then I have like other things. So practice letting go of things I have no control over. That's a habit I want to build. Like I want to be in the habit of, if I worry about something and I don't have control over it, that I'm just immediately like, oh, we don't worry about that anymore because we don't have control over it, and then it goes away. I don't know if it can work like that, but I'm trying. I have my habits to have a new adventure each quarter, and so that is something I know I'm the kind of person, I love to go new places, I love to do new things, and if I haven't been somewhere in a couple months, like I'm restless. So I just want to get ahead of it, plan some fun things for myself, create some fun habits that pertain to things outside of like reading and praying and different things like that. Like I want adventure to be a habit in my life. Like I want to just like be like, oh, it's been a couple months, I'm gonna go somewhere fun, because that's the kind of life I want to build for myself. I also want to build into my habits positive self-talk. So if you guys have like a voice that's always you in your mind, like so make sure you're positive, that your self-talk is positive, and if it's not, literally correct yourself. Like last week I did something dumb and I was like, oh my god, Madison, you were so stupid, literally me to me in my mind. And then I was like, no, actually you're not. Sometimes you don't make great decisions. This wasn't one of them, but overall you're a very smart person. And I literally do that in my mind now. Like I start to say something negative about myself in my mind, and then I have to be like, nope, stop, let's reframe that, and like let's find a better way to talk about ourselves, because if you don't talk to yourself well, you're not going to expect other people to talk to you well. So the last little note I have, actually I have 2 more, I lied, always. So 2023 habits, so I kind of started doing this at the end of last year, and I want to be like more intentional about it this year, is like having phone free time with my boyfriend, where like we both have jobs where like we both have personal and work phones, and one of them is always ringing. So like between mine or his, and so having time where we're both not on our phones, we can actually like just spend time together, connect, whatever that looks like. And then I also have habits I want to build, in habits of like getting coffee with my mom every week, or seeing one of my friends like for dinner every week, or like whatever, like just something that involves building positive relationships, and the habit that is, because as you get older it's really hard to do that. Like I'll realize, like I was texting one of my friends literally the other day, we were like playing like the adulting my boyfriend called it like the adulting making plans game, where like you're like, okay, like 7 Thursdays, like from like 7 to 7:12 p.m. like I have that time available, sort of deal. And so I want to be more intentional about making time for the people in my life, because at the end of the day, what's life if you're like always busy and you don't have time for people in it? So hope you guys enjoyed me rambling on about my habits. Hopefully there were some fun takeaways or some stories or whatever that you guys enjoyed. If you guys are habit building girlies, guys, whatever, let me know what you guys are doing, because obviously you guys can tell like I'm very habit oriented, very goal oriented, definitely something I'm trying to build into my life more and more this year. So I would love any ideas that you guys have or what y'all are doing, because I am not an expert, I'm pretty new about trying some of these things, but I wanted to share those because they've been really helpful for me in my life. So that is all I had. Ooh, actually I do have one thing. So I did a little switcheroo with the painting. Don't know if you guys care, hopefully you do. But so I moved Marilyn over here because it was almost like my face was on Marilyn's face, and you know, she just deserves her own, moment. And then I just moved this baby here because it's cute. So anyways, if you guys care about where my paintings are. All right, that's all I have. Talk to you guys later. Happy healing, babes.